Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Here are words that we all need to remember. Do what you can, and do what you can with the best of your ability. Amen. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Call in, call in. And a good morning to you. Thank you, the lovely Kate Smith, and that great voice. Good morning. And I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And boy, they've got all the tires, everything for you, along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, with Nick and the crew helping you get back to being you. Good morning. Let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, my friend.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attaboy, Doug. Call back in a few minutes. I know I'm going to have some stories for you. I appreciate it, my friend. Have a great day. Thank you.
God bless.
All right. Hey, let's go to the weather forecast right now, sponsored by our dear friends over at K&R Rental. Whoo, man, they've got it all over there on the Burley-Paul Highway at 256 South, 600 west of Hebron. I mean, they've got all the tools. They got all the equipment. You got a job you're doing, they can help. They will help, and they've got the knowledge and experience. If you're not sure what to get or what you need, all you need to do is ask them. They can help. And call them, 678-3122. K&R Rental in Hebron. And right now, here's the weather.
Looks like we're going to be warming up this week. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Mostly sunny skies for today. However, it is going to be breezy. Winds out of the west right around 20 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 32 miles an hour. High of 50 is what we're looking at for today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to continue with the low right near 32 for tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies. Still, it's going to be windy. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour out of the west. High of 45 Tuesday night. Partly cloudy with a low of 31 for Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies and 51 Thursday. Possible high of 56. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to you by K&R Rental. Hello, Roger and the crew. Boy, they've got it everything over there. And all you need to do is call them, and they can help. At K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hebron, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway, 678-3122. We have got an outstanding program this morning with some tremendous guests, including Frosty Woldridge, Dr. Gerard Lamero, and Reverend Bill Owens, and he will be phenomenal. He's coming up at 10:06. And then we've got a new segment at 10:30 that's going to be on for about 3-4 weeks with Anderson Trucking Company, and Sharon Hardy-Mills is going to be in handling that. And then we're going to talk to Joel Packham at the University of Idaho Extension Convention Center. So stand by for all that today. Right now, I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Daryl's Cleaners. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Cindy. Hello, everybody. You know, a lot of people don't realize they can not only clean everything, and press everything and starch everything and have it looking brand spanking new, but they can also do your laundry. They will wash, dry, fold, and iron all your clothes because you don't have time. I'm telling you, stop in and talk to them today at Daryl's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. Absolutely, and I'm not bragging. This is a fact. They are the best. And when you use the term best, I got to talk also about our dear friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They open the doors at 7:30 in the morning until 5, Monday through Friday, for all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. Yep, they got them, and great people working there that really care. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. I don't know how many of you watched the Super Bowl. I know there's a lot of angst against these professional athletes that took a knee or sat down during the national anthem. It did not happen yesterday. I got to tell you, I watched the Super Bowl, but there was something that was absolutely amazing that I was not aware of in the opening part of the game. And it was about the coin toss. They had some veterans out on the football field yesterday, and they had, from World War II, a gentleman by the name of Woody Williams, 94 years old. And he looked like he could just run and jump and kick up his heels. But what was so amazing, this probably not more than 5'8" individual, 5 feet 8 inches tall, that was asked to do the coin toss, there we go, had a story that just knocked me back on my pockets when I found out about it early this morning. This man, Woody Williams, is a Marine Veteran Medal of Honor recipient. And fighting against Japanese forces in World War II at the Battle of Iwo Jima, this man that flipped that coin yesterday at the Super Bowl, covered by only 4 riflemen, fought desperately for 4 hours alone in his own area under terrific enemy small arms fire, and repeatedly returned to his own lines to prepare demolition charges and obtain service flamethrowers, and then he would struggle back, frequently to the rear of hostile emplacements, to wipe out one position after another. On one occasion, that man that stood there next to these NFL giants yesterday, that man daringly mounted a pillbox so that he could insert the nozzle of his flamethrower through the air vent and eliminated the enemy. His unyielding determination and extraordinary heroism in the face of ruthless enemy resistance were directly instrumental in neutralizing one of the most fanatically defended Japanese strong points encountered by his regiment, and he aided in vitally enabling his company to reach its objective. And that, by the way, was on the same day that American forces raised the American flag at Iwo Jima. I'm going to be very honest with you. I had a hard time reading that to you because it just made me swell up with pride and emotion. To think that this little man, in size and stature, walked out onto the football field where men are very consistently 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds, and stood there among them, and quite frankly, knowing what I know now, he was the giant. This man, 94 years of age, Marine veteran, and Medal of Honor recipient, Woody Williams. I just wish that all the people at the Super Bowl and all the people that followed the Super Bowl on television could have been aware of what a giant this man was. Calls welcome, 436. Woo, excuse me, I got a little emotional there. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Excuse me. Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, the home of America's Diner. My goodness sakes, I'll tell you, the food is delicious, and they're getting ready so you can take your sweetie to Denny's Restaurant for a very special Valentine dinner. On Valentine's Day, the special's going to last all day long. 3-course dinner for two, only $20. You're going to love the food. You're going to love the service. She's going to love you for going to Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland and Burley, and also at 291 Poline Road in Twin Falls. Denny's Restaurant, it is so true. America's Diner. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Want to also remind you about our friends at Pomerelle Place. What nice people over there. And I just want to give a great big shout out to Holly and the rest of the crew. They are really, really good folks. And you know what? If you're a senior that's living alone, maybe that's not such a good idea. You know, being alone with the isolation and safety hazards and the injuries that are imperiled upon you, and then also poor nutrition. You know, like I've said every day, you can't eat a Pop-Tart and think that's a meal. And maybe missing your medication, stop right there. Really consider going to a Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. The number to call, 677-8212. 677-8212, Pomerelle Place, serving you. And real quick, Dino's Septic Service. Hello, Dino's. You know, they become kind of old friends on this program, and they do a job that you and I, we don't want to do. No way. I mean, septic tanks and drain fields installed, septic tanks pumped. Don't want to do that. Liquid waste removal. And you know, their service is so fast and fair and friendly, and they got that great big old truck that comes in your yard and it says, smells cargo. On the way, Dino's Septic Service in Rupert. Give them a call, please, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Dino's Septic Service, serving you. All right, your turn. Give me a call. Come on. Quickly, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. That was... I don't care what's happened in the past. Hopefully we can build and have a better future with the NFL. But that was one of the best games I have ever watched. It was really exciting. Philadelphia won their first World Championship Super Bowl ever in the history of their team. Philadelphia Eagles 41-33 over the New England Patriots. But you got to give a credit to a team that never says die. I do not like the Patriots. I've never had any use for them, Bill Belichick and his band. But I got to tell you, they don't lay over and quit. No, they were staying in the hunt till the last play with a pass into the end zone to hopefully try to tie it up. It was an outstanding game, and there were some other things that were outstanding. And then there were some things that weren't. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I got to say, as good as the game apparently was, we weren't able to watch it because we weren't able to get the station it was on. But as good as the game apparently was, I understand some of the ads were an absolute disgrace.
You know, I'm going to be really honest with you, caller, and my wife and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I said that yesterday the Super Bowl ads, to which I've always looked forward to, and I'll use these words, they were the worst I've seen in the 52 years of the Super Bowl. They were pathetic.
Yep, especially that one that I've seen highlighted that showed the abnormal person, you know, the person that's supposedly either male or female. Of course, we know that's not true. There's only two genders.
Yeah, and one of the other ads that really kind of hit me as distasteful was Ram Motors using the voice of Martin Luther King to help sell trucks. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was pretty low-classed.
That's where you and a lot of the social justice warriors agree on. They're saying it was low-class, too.
Yeah, there just wasn't... I don't know, maybe there were some hidden innuendos in some of these ads that some people like, but in general, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being really good, 1 being really lousy, I don't think they cracked too much above a 2.
Well, that's what I understand. Like I said, I didn't exactly get to see it because where we're at, we weren't able to get the station they were on, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just what I've heard from other sources.
Yeah, it was not their shining hour. I did not like the ads. There was maybe one out of the whole bunch that I thought had a good message, and that was the Budweiser commercial that showed that in a time of need they stopped all the production of their beer and they started canning up water to go to needy families during the hurricane, etc. That was a good ad. It wasn't a great ad, but it was a good ad. But nothing like the old ads we've seen in the past.
Yeah, like the one where that one Clydesdale was training as a colt and grew up to be a champion.
Well, not only that, but I happened to run across a TV show yesterday before the Super Bowl on a very remote, not very well-known network, and they were interviewing the horse trainer that had trained the Budweiser Clydesdales in Wyoming at a ranch for that football ad. Remember that one years ago when they had the two Clydesdale football teams?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and he told how he trained those horses, and it was amazing. So, caller, thank you for your call this morning. I appreciate it. God bless.
Okay, and there's another Super Bowl ad that never aired that you might want to check out that's kind of funny.
Well, there was a couple of them that didn't air, and it wasn't funny, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Thank you for your call.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Don't forget our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Hello, Nick Greenwell. I mean, when you do something right, and you organize something right, and you promote your business, and you help other people, good things follow. And that's exactly what's happening at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. They are helping you get back to being you. That's right. They know all the exercises. They've got a great stable of physical therapists there that know their business. And they've got the only hydrotherapy pool in the area. I know I've put a lot of miles on the bottom of that pool, and I'll guarantee you it's phenomenal. All you have to do is call them today, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, waiting right this minute to serve you. Get a hold of them today. Calls are welcome, 436-2244. Quickly, I'm going to tell you some Valentine's wishes. Happy Valentine's Day from the Book Plaza with Colonel Dale and the crew at 220 West 11th Street in Burley. Oh, my goodness, they've got all the unique gifts for your loved ones. Great, great books, you know that. All the precious moments, greeting cards, everything at the Book Plaza in Burley, wishing you a happy Valentine's Day. Perkins Restaurant, 800 North Overland in Burley. My goodness, they've got a Valentine's special for 2 dinners for $30, including an appetizer, and choose from 4 entrees. And for dessert, 2 pieces of pie with ice cream. Oh, that's a great day right there, Valentine's Day at Perkins Restaurant in Burley. And don't forget our friends at Maury's Steakhouse, 219 East 3rd in Burley. Holy moly, on Valentine's Day, they're going to have from 4 to 10 p.m. all-you-can-eat prime rib. They're in trouble if I show up. And shrimp grand buffet. This is going to be so phenomenal. Don't forget Maury's Steakhouse on Valentine's Day in Burley. Great, great places. Wishing you and yours a happy Valentine's Day. All right, now, you give me a call, 436-2244. I want to get back a little bit. A lady by the name, her singing career name is Pink, and she received some unfounded criticism yesterday and going into this morning, and people didn't realize the story. That lady that sang the national anthem yesterday, I thought she did a phenomenal job. Even more so after I found out how sick she was. A lot of people didn't realize, but she was bedridden for the entire week leading up to the Super Bowl and had a very, very severe case of the flu. As a matter of fact, there were many people involved in the production of the Super Bowl that said, maybe we'd better find a replacement. And she begged and she did everything she could to say, no, I will be there, I will sing. And if you noticed, and I did notice this yesterday, when she stepped up to the microphone, and it's unfortunate in some regard that the TV cameras caught this, she spit out a cough drop and held it in her hand and went ahead with the national anthem. And there were some that didn't understand, and they thought that looked negative, etc. But I thought the lady did a phenomenal job. And everyone in that stadium was standing. It was an amazing rendition of our national anthem. Sent shivers up and down my backbone. It was great. It was great. But there is a negative with all positives. And I'd like to get your opinion on, I thought the halftime for the Super Bowl yesterday was about as entertaining as watching water bugs hit the surface water on an old pond. It was not good. All it was Justin Timberlake going around doing a lot of jumping and a lot of running, and the sound system was pathetic. You could not understand any of the verbiage from his song, any of the words or lyrics, and it was a well-done light show, I'll say that. But the entertainment factor was minimal. Your thoughts, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to give away, right now on a Monday morning, a dozen cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox at 530 East Street in Rupert. Oh, have they got a bakery? Oh, have they got a restaurant over there? And now they're making wedding cakes in that bakery, and I've seen some of the wedding cakes. Ooh, they are something phenomenal. You check it out at Sophie's Chatterbox. Now, this is for first-time winners only, and if you can answer this, you get a dozen cookies. You call over there and let them know when you're going to be in to pick up your cookies. They'll have them ready for you at Sophie's Chatterbox in Rupert. Here's the question. On the old Gunsmoke TV series, name the famous actor that played Quint, the horseshoer. Now think back on this. On the Gunsmoke TV series, name the famous actor, and he was and is, that played Quint, the horseshoer. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Famous actor, and while I'm waiting for your phone call, I'm also going to tell you, come on, quickly, give me a call. There is going to be a great, big, very important free educational seminar tomorrow night, a farm and ranch succession planning seminar at Waddell and Reed office, 1146 Eastland Drive North in Twin Falls. Tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. That means you better call an RSVP today. Talk to Sarah at 732-7695. 732-7695. And you're going to learn how you can implement a succession plan specific to you and the ongoing needs of your operation. Brian Scott, Dan King, Todd Lovelace, financial advisors with Waddell and Reed tomorrow night. Don't miss it. I'll be there. You should be too. 6:30 p.m. Call them at 732-7695. Well, come on, give me a jingle. What was the name of the very famous actor? Let's see if this person knows. Good morning, you're on the air.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you today?
I am peachy. What's the answer?
Burt Reynolds.
Now, how did you know that?
My husband watches Gunsmoke left and right. He's an avid. I think if he could unplug the TV and take it with him and just twitch his nose like Bewitched, I think he'd have the TV with him 24/7.
twitch his nose like Bewitched?
He loves Westerns. He's an avid Western player.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. You have won a dozen cookies. The answer was Burt Reynolds, and I'm going to put you on the spot, lady. I'm not going to let you off here real easy. What movies did he become the most well-known in later in his career?
Oh, right off the top of my head, this quick, I'm not really sure.
How about Smokey and the Bandit?
Not really sure.
How about Smokey and the Bandit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Trans Am and Sally Field and yeah.
There you go. What's your name?
Yeah, Barbara.
Well, that's not going to help me. I need the whole name.
I don't want to say it across the air.
You have to, because I got to have the name.
Barbara Knight.
Last name again, spell it, please.
Knight.
Oh, well, Barbara, God bless you for your knowledge of what's going on in the old days of TV when it was really worth watching. God bless you.
Oh, my husband's got over 3,000 movies of John Wayne.
Oh, my goodness sakes. I'll tell you what. I've got calendars and pictures of John Wayne and when he owned that ranch down in Arizona and everything. I'll tell you what. Thank you for calling in.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
You bet. God bless. Nice lady, knowledgeable. Burt Reynolds played Quint on the old Gunsmoke TV series. He was the horseshoer. That's right. Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street in Rupert. Thank you very much. Well, we have a moment, and we need to call some people and wake them up. It's time to call in this morning. Let's talk about the urgent cares. Oh my, yes. The urgent cares, Riverview Urgent Care and Medical Center at 382 North Overland and Burley. Urgent Care of Jerome at 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. And Urgent Care of Twin Falls, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin. You know, for your family, take care of the lacerations, the sprains, strains, fractures, chemical burns, care for the whole family, and for your businesses, drug screening, DOT physicals. I'm telling you, they're there to serve you. You get treated, not seated. No appointment necessary. Open 7 days a week with extended hours. Qualified providers always on staff, and they're trying to save you money on your health care. And they are. At the Urgent Cares, Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Urgent Care of Twin Falls, and Urgent Care of Jerome. You stop in and see them today. Really, really good folks. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle on the landline. Let's see what else is in the news. Oh, my goodness sakes. Political correctness stupidity. Did you hear that a Staten Island, New York, and I've been on Staten Island many, many times. I stayed on Staten Island, as a matter of fact, back in the late 60s when I worked back there in New York for a while. Staten Island Elementary School canceled its traditional father-daughter dance because of the Department of Education's new gender guidelines. Oh, my goodness sakes. PS 65 had the event scheduled for Friday, February 9th, until the school's Parent-Teacher Association realized it would not comply with the transgender and gender nonconforming student guidelines, so they canceled it. Now, this is just another very ominous sign of political correctness stupidity. Canceling an event of father-daughter dance. What a nice deal. What an absolutely nice deal for fathers to get involved in their children's lives and for dads to take the time and the effort to dress up and take their daughter and have a nice time at a dance and really kind of bond together and get to know each other. Oh, no. Oh, no. The left says that father-daughter dances inherently leave people out. This transgenderism and this absolute asinine stupidity of accepting, in some cases I've read that there are now supposed to be and purported to be, along with the left's absolutely garbage thinking, like 63 different gender applications. No, there's not. God made two. male and female, smell the coffee and wake up. That's so sad. That is so sad that moms and, or I should say fathers and daughters, couldn't do this because it doesn't go along or align with the new gender guidelines. I'm going to trash that story. Hey, hey, hey. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
It's very sad, isn't it?
It absolutely, it makes me mad to think that the goodness in our society is being colored and rubbed out because of sick people.
They're trying to destroy the family.
They are.
And they're trying to put down the dad. The dad doesn't have the good role.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the dad. He's not necessary.
You know, I don't recall any event like that happening when my daughter was here at home. Had it been so, I would have been so glad, even though I'm the klutziest dancer that ever stepped onto a dance floor. I would have been so honored to take her and so blessed to spend time with her and so blessed to be that part of her life. And to have this taken away from them because of transgenderism, sick, perverted, and absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, and it's a father's role to show a daughter how a man should treat her.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we are raising the future generations, and we need to teach them respect and honor and how to treat people. So a daughter sees her dad and the way he treats the mother, that's how she thinks a man should treat her.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I read this story and I heard about this story, I was just livid, mad, because we're caving. You know, we're caving into vile, filthy people's minds of all these weird sexual innuendos, etc. We're caving into them, Doug.
Exactly. And remember, everybody, for evil to succeed is for good people to do nothing.
You know what I wished I had this in front of me, but I remember an email that came in not that long ago that called me a bigot and a hate monger because I wouldn't accept this kind of stuff. I'm never going to accept that kind of stuff. When a father cannot sit there and look at his daughter across the dinner table and say, gee, honey, I'd like to take you to that father-daughter dance, and watch her smile and be so proud of her dad and everything, and now that's stopped because of this filth, that's absolutely crazy.
Yes, that's when the fathers with the daughters in that school should step up, get another venue, and say, we will do it without you.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know what? I was thinking the same thing. Regardless of the circumstances or what the money was or anything else, I think that the fathers should have banded together and said, okay, fine, you want to act stupid like this, PS 65 or whatever the school district was, we're going to do it on our own at another location, and the devil be damned. You stay away from us.
Yeah, and you try and stop us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, I got a question for you. I read this the other day, and it says, you know, on Sheriff Arpaio, where he was convicted of defying a federal court order. Why are the mayors not being convicted of defying federal immigration law?
Yeah, I'm chuckling because what's good for the goose isn't necessarily going to have fair play for the gander.
I mean, you take a good lawyer, he can bring up the same deal, and they can be convicted just like Ohio was.
You know, and it's so absolutely ridiculous to think, and boy, you brought up an excellent point. I mean, whether it's Rahm Emanuel, that little bitty mouse in the corner, or whether it's great big bird like Bill de Blasio, mayor of New York,
yeah.
They are doing and promoting more illegality than ever was promoted or never done by Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Exactly. And it just grinds my gears. I would love to see Jeff Sessions get a backbone, stand up, and start prosecuting these people.
I am absolutely wondering, and I really mean this. I read the news, I follow the news, I take notes on the news, and honestly, Doug, I got that same point that you were talking about on my notes, is what is the fear factor There's got to be something that everybody has as a fear factor. What is it?
I'm not real sure yet. We keep watching, and they'll expose themselves.
Why are we afraid of the left? Why are the Republicans afraid of the Democrats? Why do they just kind of back around and give a big circle to Nancy Appaloosa and Chucky Schumer and the rest of them? Why? I don't understand that.
Well, some of them are afraid because they're basically on the same team but got a different letter behind their name. And they just, okay, we'll just let you guys keep going. We won't say nothing. And I think that's exactly what we're doing.
Well, look at John McCain. Look at John McCain and the idiocy of originally saying he supported a wall and really supported increased immigration policies and tightening down the screws on the people coming into this country. And then he writes an editorial and puts it out, I think just basically to slam Trump against the wall. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. And that one, I think it was a Republican, I'm not real sure, that said, you grant us DACA and route to citizenship, and we'll give you enough money to study the results of a wall on the border.
Yeah. I tell you what, the world, and Deanne was right the other day. She shook her head. We were watching the news, and she shook her head, and I said, what's the matter? And she said, really think about we have nothing to be proud of right now in this country. And really, when you think about it, it's the truth. What have we as Americans to be proud of that's going on in government, with government, for government, our leadership? I mean, what's going on that we can just absolutely sit back and say, wow, we still live in America? Tell me one thing. Go ahead.
President Trump.
Okay, I'm talking about the overall effect, though, because, there's going to be condemnation and everything against him and his administration.
Well, yeah, and he's the best thing that America has right now, and he is fighting for America. So we need to get behind him, but there's nothing the politicians are doing that we can say we're proud of.
Well, look at both sides of the aisle, Doug, and I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. Really, honestly, stay in the houses of Congress and the Senate, House and the Senate. What have they done, honestly, as a unified body to represent their constituents?
Nothing. To represent their constituents, they've done nothing. They're there to represent themselves, line their pockets so they can retire with a big $4 or $5 billion house and a big pension off of a $180,000 a year salary.
I can't argue that. I will tell you this. Did you happen to catch on television, I believe he was on early this morning. No, he was on yesterday, pardon me. An Ohio businessman that they were interviewing about giving bonuses of $1,000 to all of his employees. Did you see that man?
Yeah, he was of Home Depot?
No. His company was a real small company, and they made the different electronic devices to go into various functions, whether it's for the military or private business, whatever. And he was talking to these people on Fox News, and he said, you know what? We don't call what we gave our employees crumbs. We here call that fine dining.
Exactly. And then I seen the CEO of Home Depot just tore the left apart on these bonuses.
Yeah. I don't know what $1,000 means to you, but $1,000 extra all of a sudden handed to me and my lovely wife, whether we want to make a payment on something or whether we want to buy something that we've wanted for a long time or whether we just want to get away and use that money for a getaway, that's pretty doggone handy to have.
Exactly. It's a set of tires, 2 sets of tires.
Yeah.
It's 20 tanks of gas.
Yeah.
You take 20 tanks of gas, you drive, that's almost a year without having to pay for gas.
Well, I'll tell you what.
On some people.
Yep, and Nancy Appaloosa just couldn't understand that. Hey, got to run. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it.
Okay. Hey, you know what's coming.
Yep.
Let's take care of our seniors, everybody. It's after the giving season, coming up on tax season. You're going to be getting a little rebate. let's donate just a little bit of that to the senior centers.
There you go. Doug, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Berry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts, and they've got 3 locations to serve you. 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls. Hello, Eli, and up in Nampa. Wow, they got all those new skid steers, compact track loader, or mini excavators. They've got all the Bobcats, all the Bobcats, and you get negative interest on all Bobcats. That means the interest on a machine is subtracted from the price. Whoa! Save money. Get the best. Go to Berry Equipment and Rental. Equipment rentals, retail equipment sales, again with Juan and the crew, Highway 30 in Burley, and then in Twin Falls on Addison Avenue West, and up in Nampa, Berry Equipment and Rental. Really, really good people. Hey, by the way, before I do anything else, I've got to get a weather forecast on here. I see some blue sky out there. Now, I'm encouraged that maybe the wind's not going to blow so much today. Woo! It was ugly out there this weekend. Our weather's brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they're, of course, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room with Dr. Christine Pickup and a new doctor, Courtney Mitchell, joining the practice. Wow, to better serve you and your hearing health evaluations. Be sure and give them a call, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like we're going to be warming up this week. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Mostly sunny skies for today. However, it is going to be breezy. Winds out of the west right around 20 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 32 miles an hour. High at 50 is what we're looking at for today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to continue with a low right near 32 for tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies. Still it's going to be windy. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour out of the west. High of 45 Tuesday night. Partly cloudy with a low of 31 for Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies, and 51 Thursday, possible high of 56. That is your weather for Zeb.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Gina, and brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. As I said, they welcome Dr. Courtney Mitchell to the practice, and boy, they can help you with all your hearing needs. I urge you to give them a call and make an appointment today. They can, and they will help you. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, number to call, 312-0957. All right, it's your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Memos and Misfits. Holy cow. Haven't they got something better to do on both sides of the aisle? And I mean this. I know that they're trying to say that, well, this memo, this information, that information, but really, are we getting the job done for us? Are we getting the job done as far as our taxes, our economy, our future, our security, our everything in this country? No. We've got a harangue going on between the Democrats and the Republicans that's just a bunch of spoiled brats that honestly, they need Mrs. Kiltz with the ruler. My elementary school teacher, Mrs. Kiltz, oh, she had that trusty ruler. And she knew how to use that ruler for more than measuring something, let me tell you that. And I'll guarantee you that's what they need right now. I've had it. And what's going on in this country with the FBI and the Department of Justice, there's a lot of dirt on their hands. All of this has to be cleaned up from the top down. I think there's a lot of excellent people connected with the Department of Justice and the FBI. I know some of those people. They are very committed to excellence, but they've got trouble at the top tier with some really sleazy leadership that has to be corrected. Politics in general. Sleazy leadership. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. You know, isn't it ridiculous? This is something I watched on television. And they showed a whole bunch of people, bunch meaning probably thousands, in the United Kingdom, over in England, that are marching and protesting against universal health care. It isn't working. And it's become cost ineffective. And people over there in England are not able to see their doctors. They are not able to get treated. They are not able to schedule surgeries that are much needed. And that's with universal health care. But at the same time, here in the United States, the Democrats are railing for universal health care. Somebody tell me why. Why do we want to jump into kind of a universal single-payer mess? Like what Europe, and right now I'm talking about England specifically, is in. Oh, and by the way, what do you think they attribute the problems to? The lack of seeing the doctor, lack of getting treatment, lack of getting surgeries? Oh, one of the major factors is because of the people that are coming into their country, all the refugees and the immigrants. And it is absolutely gouging the system. And they don't have the money, and they don't have the doctors, and they don't have the health care. Sound familiar here? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, I want to remind you about the Founders Celebration going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Boy, one of the greatest treats in my lifetime, and I'm serious about this, was that I had a chance to meet Mr. Les Schwab up in Prineville, Oregon, years and years and years ago. And what a gentleman. What a gentleman, and boy, he really turned the industry upside down. Did a great job with the starting of the Les Schwab Tire Centers. And they're having a great big deal right now to where you can save money. Listen to this. They've got some of their passenger tires starting as low as $39.99, low-cost all-season design. And then they got that really, really good tire for your pickup and SUVs, backcountry touring, HT, outstanding ride, and noise-canceling features. That is a good one. All of this and more at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with the best in brake service, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries at all 7 locations. I mean it. These folks are good because doing the right thing matters. With Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They are good. Oh, by the way, in Chicago, you're not only going to have to worry about getting shot back in Chicago if you go back and visit the Windy City, but if you drive back to Chicago and you're driving your own vehicle around the city of Chicago, you may not drive your car home. Why is that? Last year in Chicago, they had over 1,000 carjackings in 2017. People were pulling up to stoplights, and all of a sudden these thug punks come over there and just drag them out of the vehicle, leave them on the pavement, and drive off with their cars under gunpoint. And they estimate that it's even going to be worse this year in Chicago. So if you drive back there for a visit and you want to drive around the city of Chicago, I urge you to take public transportation. They're not doing that to a bus yet. But your vehicle, over 1,000 carjackings last year, and they don't care if they hurt you when they pull you out of there or not. They're just going to leave you on the road, and they're going to drive away. Coming up for the remainder of this morning, we've got Frosty Woldridge at 9:06. Can't wait to talk to him this morning. He wrote an excellent piece. And then at 9:30, I'm looking forward to Dr. Gerard Lamaro. He's been on our program many, many times, and he's the one that had the book written, Great News for America. He's going to be on our program. And then at 10:06, we're really, really good man. Reverend Bill Owens is going to be talking about how the Democrats are furthering anti-race relations in this country. And then at 10:32, we're expecting to have a brand new segment with Anderson Trucking for about 7 minutes. And our dear friend Sharon Hardy Mills is going to be doing the interview with those good folks. And then I'm going to have Joel Packham on from the University of Idaho Extension Service at about 10:43. So we've got a whole bunch of things left to go on the program here for this morning. Oh, quickly, if you'd like one of my Trump caps, they are on sale over at Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair. I also have some here. They're $20, and the net proceeds are going to go to our Christmas fund to help needy families. So we've got them. All you need to do is let us know, okay? Right now, we're going to send it back over to Wheels at our main studio. I'll be back in about 7 minutes. Here we go, hour number 2. Doggone, I was hoping we'd get by without having any wind today, but it looks like it's going to be blowing again. Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you for the Founders Day celebration. And also Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Really good people. Hey, Wheels, how about it? Let's hear a little bit from our friends at Western Waste.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Why don't you just call Western Waste Services this morning, get on the route service, and then, like they say over in Australia, no worries, mate. I'm telling you, they'll come and pick up your garbage. It's gone. It's out of there. Wave goodbye. Western Waste Services, 734-6969. It's true. They are always at your disposal. Hey, by the way, too, don't forget our dear, dear friends over at Hanson Mortuary. Hello, Joel Heward, family, and staff. These folks, they really care. I mean, they want you to know all the information about pre-planning for funerals so you can have things done your way. Please don't hesitate to give them a call at 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. And when there's the passing of a loved one, they always serve you and your family with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Joel Heward, Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, and also serving you at Morrison Payne on East Main in Burley. In just a moment, I'm going to get all set to go with Frosty Woldridge. Stand by, but I want to remind everybody real quick about a great free educational seminar, Farm and Ranch Succession Planning. If you want to say on what happens to your farm or ranch, you need to be in attendance tomorrow night, Tuesday night, February 6th at 6:30 p.m. at Waddell and Reed office, 1146 Eastland Drive in Twin Falls. That's right. I'm going to be there. You should be there. Time 6:30 p.m. And please learn how you can implement a succession plan specific to you and the ongoing needs of your operation. Thanks to Brian Scott, Dan King, and Todd Lovelace, financial advisors with Waddell and Reed. Great meeting tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. RSVP at 732-7695. Well, here's my friend. And another outstanding piece called State of the Union, What If 20 Million Illegal Aliens Vacated America? Woo, good thought. Hey, Frosty Woldridge, Golden, Colorado, how are you?
Well, good morning, Zeb, and happy post-Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. They certainly proved their mettle last night, and I hope that everybody enjoyed themselves for the last roundup of the NFL for the year. And now we've got to get down to business, and I'm ready to get down with business for you, and we'll just get down the road here in 2018.
You know, Frosty, your articles are really, really thought-provoking. This one that you just finished, State of the Union, what if 20 million illegal aliens vacated America? Give us a little bit of the background on this.
Well, yes, I really would, as a matter of fact, that story, what if 20 million illegal aliens vacated America, was first published in October of 2007. And as a matter of fact, it was probably one of the most powerful pieces I had written to date at that time. And in fact, it got on Snopes, and it was carried on Snopes a week ago again because it's resurfaced. And as a matter of fact, Michael Savage on his radio show quoted the entire column verbatim. And for some reason, I don't know, I got tons of calls and letters from people who had heard Michael Savage, but he did not give my byline, as the author of the piece.
Oh, my.
But he still got it out to millions of people that listened to him. And, of course, there were many, many others across the nation who said, oh, my gosh. And the reason I wrote that was because Tina Griego here in, pardon me, in Denver, Colorado, was an affirmative action journalist for the Rocky Mountain News at the time, and I asked her to interview me on what Colorado was going to do with another 5 million more people in the state of Colorado, which is overloading our water supplies, and our traffic is in gridlock, and the brown cloud is extremely toxic. And she had always been writing all these really powder puff pieces about illegal aliens doing well here in Colorado. And she was a marginal writer, but she surely had an audience for all those who are, whining away for all the illegal aliens. And there's about 400,000 here in the state of Colorado, give or take. And so she then said during the interview, well, what if these 20 million illegals weren't here in the state of Colorado, or in the whole country? And I said that was a fair question. And so I started the research on it, and as you can see, I came up with all of the facts that are happening across America as to illegal aliens. We're paying out $296 billion a year and across 15 federal agencies to educate their kids, to feed their kids, to medicate their kids, to house their kids, and are also losing $120 billion a year in cash transfers out of the country. And I went down the list of what the consequences were, and my gosh, and I researched them, and the consequences were extraordinary. And as you all know, they're just as extraordinary today as they were then, and the consequences and the crises has multiplied. I think it was Ann Coulter actually wrote a book about it just last year, Adios America, Left's Plan to Turn America into a Third World Hellhole. And the reality is, when you keep importing people that have no education, who have no language skills, have no working skills other than sweeping a broom across a floor or driving a taxi, you will, in time, degrade a first world country down into a third world country. And Ann Coulter's book really spells it out, and of course I've spelled it out over these years with you, and I think we've been together for well over 15, 16 years now.
You know, Frosty, I want to, if you'll allow me, the time on your segment, I went through in its entirety the State of the Union message that President Trump delivered about a week ago. And he was taking a lot of criticism, as you well know, by the liberal left, the dumb-brats, that were highlighting and saying, like Juan Williams, they were criticizing him, saying that he compared all immigrants to like MS-13 killers. No, he did not. And I have the exact verbiage of the speech. I have all the pages of the State of the Union speech here. And they are never shown to be, they being the Democrats, the liars that they are. I want to read, if I may, one paragraph in particular that was criticized by all the left, that Trump said supposedly all immigrants are the same and are killers. He said, for decades, open borders have allowed drug thugs and gangs to pour into our most vulnerable communities. They have allowed millions of low-wage workers to compete for jobs and wages against the poorest Americans. Most tragically, they have caused the loss of many innocent lives. And he went on to say 6 members of the savage gang MS-13 have been charged with Kayla and Nisa's murders. Many of these gang members took advantage of glaring loopholes in our laws to enter the country as unaccompanied alien minors and wound up in the Kayla and Nisa's high school. And never once did he compare all immigrants or all illegals as killers. This is what I get so mad about.
Well, and I stand with you on that because that was an excellent speech, and he just simply gave the facts. I think it's a website called the darksideofillegalimmigration.com by Peter Wagner, and he literally chronicles all of the murders, all of the rapes, all of the killings, all of the shoplifting. It's $130 million a day of all these poor immigrants across the country and poor people across the country that are shoplifting. It's $50 billion a year. I've actually done the research on that, and I've written about it in the past. And again, that's a consequence of third world people literally overwhelming our country. There's no jobs for them. And then our own people with no jobs for them. People are shoplifting to that extent, $130 million a day. That's why Detroit fell. That's why what's happening in Chicago is so bad. The same thing is happening over there in Los Angeles, certainly in Miami, certainly in Cleveland. You can just go anywhere. And when you've got a lot of poor people, they're shoplifting. And that is what's happening to us. And what's really happening is there's thousands of Americans who've died at the hands of illegal aliens, drunk illegal aliens, shootouts with illegal aliens, you name it. But Trump just simply stated the facts, and those are the facts, that illegal aliens have been killing literally thousands, and I don't know if it's into the tens of thousands over the last 30, 40 years, but I would bet it's somewhere in that neighborhood. And these people, these American citizens would be alive today if not for illegal immigration not being stopped. And I must say, whether it's Chucky Schumer and if you all noticed, I think it was Nancy Pelosi, it looks like she was adjusting her dentures throughout the entire speech. She was so angry and playing around with her mouth. I've never seen anything like that. But the fact is, those people are representing illegal aliens more than American citizens, and they make $176,000 a year to represent us, and we're the ones that elected them. But in fact, they have done nothing to secure the borders in the last 30 years plus. They have done nothing to stand for American citizens, and now they're standing for illegal aliens, and the DACA illegal aliens, they're the ones that created the situation in the first place.
There is one other person, though, and maybe you won't agree with this statement, but I'm going to make it anyway. Schumer stayed and sat and listened. Pelosi stayed and sat and listened. But Luis Gutierrez, House member from Illinois, got up and walked out in a show of defiant rudeness, and that man, I single out as being the lowest of the low.
Not only that, he was recorded on a cell phone to say, "I hate Americans." That's what he said as he stalked out of the chambers there. And again, Luis Gutierrez is literally a representative of illegal aliens in our country, does everything he can to not only legalize the illegals, but bring in as many as possible so that there are tremendous numbers of Mexicans to literally take over cities and literally soak our welfare systems. And again, none of these people up there have ever stopped the diversity visas. None of these Democrats or Republicans have stopped the chain migration, which is flooding the country. None of them have stopped the anchor babies at 350,000 a year. I want everyone to understand that. 350,000 illegal alien pregnant mothers come into this country year after year after year, decade after decade, drop their child, birth their child on U.S. soil, a misinterpretation of the 14th Amendment, and they get a free ride. But guess what? That free ride is paid for by your wallet, my wallet, and again, to to the tune of $296 billion a year, and none of those legislators have done anything to stop that, and that's why we're seeing all the consequences today, whether it's the anchor babies and or the DACA kids. It's all because of Charlie Schumer and certainly Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, John McCain, Michael Bennet, certainly Cory Gardner here in Colorado, Dianne Feinstein. You just go down the list. These are the people supposed to be representing American citizens, and we're paying their salaries, and they're doing nothing to represent America or the rule of law in securing our borders.
I got to ask you, Frosty, and I'm going to shift gears here a little bit on purpose. Did you happen to catch the opening ceremonies of the Super Bowl yesterday when they had the coin toss? Did you see that?
Yeah, there was a World War II Medal of Honor winner who tossed the coin. I thought that was, and I was so thankful that those football players who are so honored to play in the NFL and live in America and to enjoy all of the freedoms and all of the opportunities in America, they all stood. I am really thankful for that, because what went on with Colin Kaepernick in this entire year turned me off to NFL football, because we're losing a grasp of a sense of country, a sense of ourselves as citizens, when we have all of these characters out there disrespecting our flag and disrespecting the national anthem.
Yeah, but do you know the story behind Woody Williams, the 5'8", 94-year-old man? If you don't, my wife and I did some research this morning, and we have it. Listen to this. This will bring tears to your eyes as a avowed military man yourself. Marine veteran and Medal of Honor recipient Woody Williams appeared in millions of Americans' homes yesterday as he was asked to do the NFL coin toss for the Super Bowl. But listen to the story about this man, and I've got it in abbreviated form. Fighting against the Japanese forces in World War II at the Battle of Iwo Jima, Mr. Williams, covered by only 4 riflemen, fought desperately for 4 hours under terrific enemy small arms fire, and repeatedly returned to his own lines to prepare demolition charges and obtain service flamethrowers. Struggling back to his point, he frequently went to the rear of hostile emplacements to wipe out one position after another. On one occasion, he daringly mounted the side of a pillbox to insert the nozzle of his flamethrower through the air vent and killed all the occupants and silenced the gun that was killing American soldiers. His unyielding determination and extraordinary heroism in the face of ruthless enemy resistance was absolutely the reason why he became a Medal of Honor recipient. And all of this occurred on the same day that American forces raised the American flag at Iwo Jima. That 5'8", 94-year-old man was a giant among those giant players yesterday.
Wow. I am deeply touched with knowing his incredible service to America.
It brought tears to my eyes, Frosty.
That brings tears.
It made me cry this morning to think that here walked out on the football field this diminutive little man, 94 years of age, still spry in step, flips the coin, and they're standing among guys that are 6'4", 6'7", 300 pounds. That man is the real giant among men.
Well, and that is the man, and those are the men and women of World War I and World War II that served our country to allow ourselves, every one of us, the extraordinary freedoms, the extraordinary opportunities, the extraordinary expression of happiness in this country. Woody Williams and all of those combat soldiers, both men and women, throughout these wars, are the reason that we enjoy such an extraordinary country here on earth.
You know, the point is I'm getting at here, it drove me to tears this morning, first hour, when I tried to relate that story. But here's a man that was so devoted to this great country, the United States, that he literally gave up any thought of his life and climbed up on the side of an enemy pillbox that was trying to shoot him, stab him with bayonets and everything else, and eradicated the enemy. And that was on the same day the American forces raised the flag on Iwo Jima. And those football players, through the course of the year, led by the stupidity of Colin Kaepernick, they might be big in stature, but so small in mind that a little 5'8" Marine, 94 years of age, looked bigger and taller than they will ever be.
Well, that is a fact, because none of those football players ever sacrificed their lives. They have huge bank accounts, and most of them have not served in the United States military, and so they really have their bravery is only athletic bravery, has nothing to do with God, country, and family. So, yes, Woody Williams, thank God for his service, and every single military person from Valley Forge all the way to now. I really honor every man and woman who served the United States of America.
Well, let me ask you this last question. I know you're a great American. I know that you would do anything for our country and our flag. But I'm going to just ask you this. After a lot of visits with various people this weekend, all the way from politicians to just neighbors, etc., are we so far gone and at a loss of common sense that we can ever get this country back the way it should be?
Well, that's a heck of a question. I think that if we do not stop all immigration into our country, there is no way that we're going to remain America. At the current situation with Antifa, that says no Trump, no wall, no USA at all, Black Lives Matter, that want to create an entirely different country and that hate America with unbelievable fervor. And then you look La Raza, which is the race, which is the Mexicans, and they want to take back the four southern states there adjacent to Mexico, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and certainly Southern California. We're facing tremendous sociological fragmentation in this country. If we don't stop the mass immigration of 100,000 immigrants every 30 days, over 1.2 million per year, plus another 500,000 illegals that are still coming in, to tell you the truth, no, I don't think we're going to see ever again the America that you and I grew up in. We're going to see a fragmented third world country with pockets of people who literally have no affinity. And then, of course, the Muslim confrontation. There's a new piece on Facebook this morning. You can all look at it. It's on my Facebook page, Frosty Wooldridge, where one of the imams said, Islam is not here to integrate, it's here to dominate. And he says, we're going to change America into an Islamic caliphate. That is on my Facebook page. He said it right there in front of an American audience. And these Muslims, they will never integrate into the United States. They will do everything they can to dominate, and they're going to create parallel societies. It's already happened in Detroit. It's happened in Minneapolis. It's happening in Miami. It's happening right here in Denver. It's certainly happening out there in Fremont, California. So, no, I don't see us returning to the America of 1965 where we were all Americans. You're going to see more and more fragmentation and more fracturing. You're going to see linguistic chaos. Again, Denver schools have 173 different languages, and so that's what's coming. So, again, if we keep sitting here and doing nothing and we don't support men like Senator Tom Cotton to cut these immigration levels, we will not ever see the America that we grew up in ever again. That's my projection, and I see it as clear as a bell.
You know, Frosty, I always appreciate the fact that you're very candid on this program and straightforward, and I really apologize to you for kind of getting sidetracked a little bit to give you that information about Woody and the coin toss yesterday, but I thought you might want to know the facts. Thank you so much for being on the program this morning.
Thank you, Zeb. And even though we are in the process of fragmenting and fracturing America beyond repair, I will stand with you and I will stand with every person listening This is our country. We can stop mass immigration. We can stop illegal immigration. And we can restore the rule of law in our country. And I will do this till my last breath. You have my promise, Zeb, and every person listening.
I believe you in great sincerity. Thank you, and God bless you. See you next Monday. Thanks, Frosty.
Thank you, Zeb.
All right. Good man. Great guy. I really appreciate Frosty Woolridge, Golden, Colorado. Hey, we got a whole bunch of things to tell you about here real quick before we go to our next guest. The big spring consignment sale at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds, that's going to be operated by our dear friends, Rogge Auction Company. They're now taking consignments for the spring consignment sale, and that's going to be on March 24th. Now, they've already got a lot of farm equipment consigned, four-wheelers, livestock, panels, tractors, everything else. No household goods or tires. Call Ron Rogge at 431-6187 or Cade at 431-0074 or Jed at 670-4042. And if you want to make a consignment, you call them today for the big spring consignment sale at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds on March 24th starting at 10 a.m. Rogge Auction Company. Absolutely great folks. Thank you. Let's see what else have I got here real quick. I want to remind you that tomorrow we have, of course, the Idaho Legislative Update at 9:30, sponsored by Handy Truck Lines with our dear friend Clay Handy and the rest of his staff. Handy Truck Lines was established way back in 1928, and they are now, of course, celebrating 90 years in operation, serving all the folks in the Northwest with terminals, of course, in Pocatello, Meridian, and Salt Lake City, Utah. Handy Truck Lines in Paul with Clay Handy. Thank you for all your support. Excellent people. I also want to keep in mind that our dear friends over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Oh, my goodness, out with the old and in with the new. Oh, all the carpeting and the furniture and the window coverings and the mattresses. You better get in there today and check it out with Jeff and the whole crew over there at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Interest-free for 2 years. 2 years. You better stop in and see them today. Oh, and I want to stress the fact that they've got such great selection of recliners. Oh, you got to get in there and try one on. There's some for tall people, short people, skinny people, and the rest of us. So be sure and get in there today at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, 459 Overland in Burley. They are absolutely the best. Coming up in just a moment, Dr. Gerard Lamero, one of my very favorite people to have on the air, and I quickly want to tell everybody, too, about our friends over at Let's Ride. Where the fun is sold. They've got all the great big snow machines. They've got all the four-wheelers, and they've got all the side-by-sides, and all the accessories, too. You be sure and stop over and see them today. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Let's Ride. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. Let's Ride. And a fantastic service department to keep you running, too, at Let's Ride. This is absolutely where the fun is sold. Let's Ride over in Rupert. Really good folks. Gonna go to the phone line. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I was just going to text you, but I had got a hold of Dr. Lamero, and as soon as I was going to put him through, the phone line cut out, and ever since then, I've tried reaching him, but it just goes straight to voicemail. So I'm not sure if his phone died or if something's wrong with the phone line that he's on. But
okay, let me give you a backup quickly. Write this down, and the number is 970-219-7985. Call that right away, Wheels, please.
Will do, sir.
Thank you. We're trying to get hold of Dr. Gerard Lamero, and maybe Deanne's out in the other room. She can help us for a few moments. And we're going to talk about the different memos, the FISA memo and everything else. So hopefully we can get him gathered up and get him back on our program for this morning. While I'm waiting, we'll take some calls from you. And we also will tell you about Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more. All you need to do is just call and make an appointment. You take the initial step, make an appointment, and they'll take care of the rest. They are the professionals, dedicated and very responsive to your needs. Excuse me, the number to call, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Really good folks. Wheels, how did that work? Have we got him? Evidently, he's still trying to call him. And while we're waiting, we're going to tell you we got a new segment coming up in about an hour, as a matter of fact. And Sharon Hardy-Mills is going to be talking to Anderson Truck Lines, I believe, about some safety tips on the road. Hold on, I got a little frog in my throat. And that's coming up at 10:32 this morning. And then following that, I'll be talking to University of Idaho Extension Specialist Joel Packham. So, Wheels, did we get him on the air?
Yes, sir. I got him on the phone.
All right. Thank you very much. One of my very favorite people to have on my program is this man, the author of Great News for America and 4 other books, our dear friend Dr. Gerard Lamero. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am doing terrific. We apparently dropped the broadcast line. I don't know what went wrong with something in that, but we've got right now on my smartphone, so at least we're able to talk on this.
Well, I certainly appreciate your taking the time to be on my program. Dr. Lamero, you are very, very astute at looking at a problem, looking at politics, and coming up with a real good synopsis of what's really going on. And I would say this, here a memo, there a memo, everywhere a memo, and it seems like everything is falling apart back in D.C. Can you please shed some common sense into what's going on with the FISA memo and the others?
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. You know, I think most big, complicated messes are really pretty simple if you boil it right down to the basics. The basics are the Congress has uncovered what appears to be criminal activity. And the criminal activity appears to be that the FBI and Department of Justice at the highest levels back in the Obama administration and then in the deep state after the Obama administration tried to help Hillary Clinton get off the hook from some things she did that looked very questionable, and they also tried to sabotage the Donald Trump election because they didn't want him. They wanted Hillary Clinton. She was their person, but they have no business fiddling with an American election. That's what you do in those banana republics. You don't do them here in America, and it's that simple. I think the Democrats who were in the deep state working for Obama at the highest levels of DOJ and FBI try to get Hillary off the hook from all those things, the email scandals, the other scandals, the Uranium One scandal. They looked the other way when she did something funny. But Donald Trump, they went to the trouble of trying to manufacture Russian collusion because they wanted to basically keep him from being president. And if they couldn't keep him, maybe they could impeach him. It's that simple. The FISA memo presents a lot of information that supports that. They have backup information, tons of backup information. And the more that comes out, the more it looks like the Obama administration basically politicized the FBI to where they were no longer an independent agency of the government trying to formulate justice for all. They took a biased position. And by the way, that's what the Obama administration did with the IRS, because they weaponized the IRS so that a lot of Tea Party groups couldn't get their nonprofit status in time to campaign against Obama in 2012. Same thing, a lot of politics, but it looks like it's gone beyond legal limits, and some of these people are going to have to face, I think, potential criminal activity in see how they defend themselves.
You know, Dr. Lamero, I've said for a long time that it's not the grassroots people that are working for either the FBI or the Department of Justice or even the IRS. But now the top tiers have been impaled with bad leadership and those that are very biased in their political opinions. Why can't we just demand as a American people that really it's our government? Why can't we demand that they absolutely scrub clean those three agencies and start over from the top down?
Well, I think they are. And, you know, the American people did it in a sense because they elected Donald Trump. And they went and wanted to clean the swamp. Remember that statement, drain the swamp, drain the swamp. We heard it all during the election. Well, right now the swamp is getting drained, and boy, the swamp is putting up a fight. They're calling it a dead memo. They're calling it awful. They're saying all sorts of things because they don't want the truth to come out. The American people are demanding the truth. The American people want the corruption ended in Washington, and that's what's going on. And boy, are they putting up a fight. They didn't want this memo released. Why? Because the information in it doesn't look so good for them.
What about the other insinuation of other memos being released in the not-too-distant future? And then you have the likes of California Representative Adam Schiff of the Democrats that looks like a little spoiled brat standing there on television going wah, 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 and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. But really, what do you think, in your opinion, these other memos are going to relate to us, the American public, as far as their information is concerned?
Well, if you're talking about the Adam Schiff memo, I think it's going to say nothing. It's going to say a lot of stuff like they're saying now in public. You know, like, oh, this is baloney, this is no big deal, this is nothing. They're making a mountain out of a molehill. But you know what? Tampering with American elections for the president, no less. We're not talking about, you know, an election for dog catcher. We're talking about an election for the president of the United States. To try to tamper with that is sacred. To the American people. I mean, that's the highest office in the land. And they are so willing to do these kind of things in order to help the wrong person get in there, but their person, who happens to be the wrong person, I think it's terrible. But you know what? The American people are demanding it, and the more they see it, the more they want it cleaned up. And you know what? The American people have one thing that's really important. They have common sense. They can smell a fishy situation, and they're smelling it right now. They're realizing what's happening, and that's why the Democrats, you know, the Democratic Party, they've got almost no money because they're not getting donations.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because the American people are smart. They're not throwing money in their direction.
When you look at all the problems, and I'll underline that word problems, that are going on around the globe today with, of course, fingers coming back here to the United States, whether it's North Korea, whether it's economic or trade problems, etc., we've got a lot better things to do than try to clean up this mess. And can we overcome this and address those problems in the not-too-distant future? I think the rest of the world is laughing at us.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have a serious problem. We have people that apparently went to the lake that appears. And again, you know, everybody's entitled to their day in court. They can defend themselves. But it appears like they chose to break laws to help Hillary Clinton get elected president and help Donald Trump get impeached because they didn't like him. And that's the bottom line. And they also tried to interfere with the campaign when Trump was actually running, but after he ran, then they want to impeach him. But you know what? We have to clean up our dirty laundry. This is dirty laundry. It's terrible. It's a scandal. And they're calling it today all over the news. It's a dud memo. It's just a dud memo. Why are they saying that? Because they don't want Democrats to read it. They know the Republicans believe the memo. They don't want their own people to read it because they're losing support.
You know, Dr. Lamero, every time I've had you on the program, you make me feel good as an American with kind of a real red, white, and blue spirit of things that can get bigger and better in this country. And when I watched the State of the Union message, I thought Donald Trump did an excellent job in that State of the Union message. I thought the message itself was well delivered and very well laid out. And then I looked in the audience, and the Democrats wouldn't even stand for the applause on God, in God We Trust, or the national anthem. They sat there. I hope that this comes back in the fall of this year to haunt the Democrats.
Oh, it absolutely will. Believe it or not, it's going to be a conservative wave this November. The American people are fed up to their neck with how the Democrats are treating this country. They're treating it like it's a terrible country. They don't want to stand up for the flag, some of them. Some of them are doing other things, like saying we're going to create sanctuary cities. We're not going to obey any of those federal laws. They're sort of doing whatever they please. And I could use some colorful language here, but I won't because it's radio. But, you know, they're doing whatever they please. And the American people are just getting madder and madder, and they're losing one election after another. Occasionally they win one, because you got to win one if you run enough times. There's somebody bound to win. But basically they're losing elections. They're losing financial support. What have they got? They've got a few billionaires that are helping them out, and they've got the media in the tank for them. They've got power in the tank for them. But you know what? The American people aren't, and the American people win in the end. Remember this, and by the way, it's in my new book that's coming out just later this month. Hopefully it'll be out, and that the good guys win in the end, and the good guys are the American people.
Do you think, when you say that, and I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway, do you think that in general the American public is ready to stand up and demand bigger and better for America, or have we been so dumbed down with kind of the millennial attitude that it's kind of, we're going to be like a sponge. We're going to just absorb whatever they tell us?
Well, there are some people who are in sponge mentality. That's a good way you put it. But you know what? Most Americans aren't. Most Americans go out and work every day. Most Americans kiss their wife when they get home, or kiss their husband. Most Americans go to the soccer games. Most Americans, you know, just have a good life, and they try to have a good life, and they don't care about the government as long as it stays away from them. But you know what? The American people can smell something fishy right now, and they want it cleaned up. It's going to get cleaned up. The Democrats have been pulling teeth to try to keep it from getting cleaned up, but it's going to happen. So don't you worry. I am very optimistic that it's going to get cleaned up. It's going to take a while before all these people are probably brought before prosecutors, but I think a lot of them are not only going to lose their jobs, I think they're going to have to face whether or not they're going to jail as well.
You know, you mentioned the Democratic Party earlier, and you brought up a really good point that I wanted to enhance just for a moment here. I've done a lot of research on the various people that are going to be running for various positions on the Democratic Party. I've talked to many people that say they want to support so-and-so. But really, the one thing the Democrats don't have after all these shortcomings is a platform. Can you please tell me what they're running on or for?
Yeah, they're running for impeaching Trump. They're running for getting back in power. That's it. They don't have anything else. All they can do is platitudes about they can do a better job. They're wonderful. They're terrific. And they'll give you more free lunch, free health care, free cell phones, free everything. But you know what? They don't have any money for themselves to run a campaign. They don't have any money in the country because we have to borrow it from the Chinese. The only way America is going to get money is when people work, produce more. And that's what's happening under Donald Trump. Our GDP is up. Our stock market is up in general. They have a little day or two where it's a little bit nervous at the moment, which is to be expected given the news. And that, but basically, the country is doing phenomenally well. The optimism indices are high. Most Americans are believing what I'm talking about, and that is we need to be optimistic because we have a great future, because the American people are smart enough to put the right people in office. It takes a while to get rid of the ones you don't want because you got to sort through the whole list. There's a bunch of people in Washington, but we're sorting through them, and we're picking out the best, and the others have to go home and dust off their resumes.
Let me ask you about the midterm elections. You know, the Democrats are saying, oh, we're going to take this many house seats. We may take this many senatorial seats. We're going to be in complete control and everything. I don't see it. What do you see happening during the midterms?
Well, they're hurting themselves. They keep doing stuff to hurt themselves further. You know what? I think they're reading the same polls that said that Hillary Clinton was going to win by 12%. You know what? It just isn't true. The American people are turned off by the Democratic Party. Sometimes they're turned off on some Republicans because they don't do enough. But they're not going to go vote for a Democrat if they're mad at the Republican. They're going to primary the Republican out. Or they're going to look for somebody conservative who's going to get the job done. I think it's going to be the House is going to turn out Republican again, and I think the Senate is there are going to be lots of Democrats lose there. I think the Republicans are going to walk away with a much more conservative, much stronger Senate, and Trump is going to have a cakewalk compared to this past year in 2019.
Let me ask you about the new book, More Great News for America. Can you give us kind of a thumbnail sketch of what you are putting in this book as compared to the original?
Okay. Well, the original, of course, made 10 predictions associated with the presidential election. 9 out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10, if you want to be generous, were right. And so I had those predictions right. This book, a little bit different. First thing it does is it answers a question. A lot of people have asked me in the last year, why were the polls so wrong? Why were you so right? Because, you know, my model said Trump was going to win. Mm-hmm. No question. The Electoral College model said he was going to win. Well, so I answer that question just to get it out of the way. Then what I do is I talk about what's going to happen to the Democratic Party, what's going to happen to the Republican Party with all that's going on. And then I go in and talk about the various issues. Are we going to build a fence? Are we going to solve immigration? How are we going to get rid of the rest of Obamacare that's still left? You know, basically I go through the economy and how that's doing well and getting better. And so I go through all the big issues, and I also make predictions for the congressional elections, and I throw in my early prediction for the next presidential election. And I will already tell you how that's looking. I'll give you that one. You don't even have to wait to read the book. The next presidential election, 2020, Trump is going to win re-election with more than 350 electoral votes. He's going to do better than he did before. He's also going to win the popular vote without California, because we know California always goes Democrat. At least at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the big month. The book's going to be released, More Great News for America, with my friend. I've never met this man face to face, but I look forward to the day I can shake his hand. Dr. Gerard Lamero, thank you so much for being on our program this morning. God's blessings, and please come back soon.
I will, and by the way, I'm going to send you an autographed copy of my new book as soon as I get some copies to autograph.
I will look forward to it and readily appreciate it. Thank you so much for being on my show this morning.
You too. God bless everybody.
Thank you. A great guy, Dr. Gerard Lamero, and his original book was called Great News for America. Now he's got another one coming out this month of February, More Great News for America. And this man and his prognostications about politics, he was right spot on. Give him a lot of credit. Oh, my goodness, we've got to get a weather forecast on here real quick. Yeah, Wheels is waiting over there. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. They sponsor our weather for this hour, and they've got 2 locations, Burley and Rupert. It's tax time. Yeah, I hate to say it. Ooh, you cringe when you hear it's tax time. Yes, it is. Make an appointment with Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, and Crane today. They are the best because I know personally, Leiden Crane, of course, our accountant, and we're very, very happy with their work. It's that time of the year. Get all your information gathered. Give them a call at Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company with offices in Burley and Rupert. Don't forget, they know and they can help you. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like we're going to be warming up this week. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Mostly sunny skies for today. However, it is going to be breezy. Winds out of the west right around 20 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 32 miles an hour. High of 50 is what we're looking at for today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to continue with the low right near 32. For tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Still it's going to be windy. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour out of the west. High of 45 Tuesday night. Partly cloudy with a low of 31 for Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies, and 51 Thursday, possible high of 56. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Oh, my goodness, whether it's explaining the brand new tax laws or taking care of helping you with your business, whatever the case might be, your family taxes, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. 1710 Overland and Burley and 650 Fifth Street in Rupert, serving you. For well over 50 years, they are the best. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. May I take just a moment and say a great big thank you to some more of our great Valentine's Day sponsors. Valentine's Day is coming up next week on Wednesday. Better get your lovey something really special. Listen to this. Listen to this. The Dry Dock, 181 West Highway 30 in Burley. Oh, have you eaten there? A beautiful view of the Snake River and fantastic service. For Valentine's Day, they're going to have a 10 to 12 ounce New York steak with 3 tiger shrimp, or a 6-ounce salmon with 3 tiger shrimp. Oh, it's delicious. You better get in there. Make reservations today at the Dry Dock. They are the best. 678-2628, waiting to serve you. Also, don't forget Sweetheart Manor. What a nice place at 217 South Highway 27 in Burley. Brenda and Alan Olson own Sweetheart Manor. And the Sweetheart Manor, a beautiful place for weddings and receptions and business meetings, family parties, class reunions, the list goes on and on. Please call them today and book your event at Sweetheart Manor. 678-8692. That number again, 678-8692. And also wishing you a happy Valentine's Day, Haight Home, Bed, and Breakfast at 215 East Poplar Street in Oakley. I've got to get up there. They invited us to come up, Deanna and I, to come up and take a journey into the past and enjoy this beautiful historic Victorian house and bed and breakfast. It's currently on the National Historic Registry. It was built way back in 1895. Oh, my. Sounds great to me. Haight Home, Bed, and Breakfast, 215 East Poplar Street in Oakley. Call them at 862-7829. And those are some more of our great Valentine's Day sponsors, and we thank every one of them for being on our program, Zeb at the Ranch. Yeah, don't forget, don't do like I usually do. Forget that Valentine's Day is literally right around the corner. Here's what we've got for next hour. We're going to have Reverend Bill Owens on the program. I really urge you to listen to this man. He grew up in segregated Memphis, Tennessee, and he's been on the civil rights movement, and he's a man that uses a lot of common sense as to what's going on today with racism in America. That's coming up at 10:06. Don't you go away. Zeb at the Ranch, I'll be back in 7. Here we go. I love that piano. And, man, I tell you what, they really hit some good notes on that song. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, hour number 3. And, of course, we're brought to you by our great sponsors, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Also want to mention to you real quick about Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. Now listen up, because right now is a very important time to get those little puppy dogs all vaccinated for that pyro vaccine. Yes, sir, take care of them, keep them healthy. And also, don't forget, February is not just Valentine's Day month, it's also teeth cleaning month for your puppy dogs at Ark Animal Hospital. 20% off, you make the appointment right now. Ark Animal Hospital, a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small, they love them all, they take care of them all, and they're located again at 750 21st Street in Heyburn. Number to call, 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. This next guest that I have on the program this morning, I really am interested in having him on my program. I think we're going to get along well because I think we both agree on a lot of subjects. And his name is Reverend Bill Owen. Sir, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. I'm happy to be with you this morning.
Reverend, may I start off by saying this, and please jump in and correct me if you think I'm wrong. I am so sick and tired of what seems to be a renewed resurgence of racism in this country. Whether you're black, brown, white, it doesn't make any difference. I don't think I've ever seen so much fracturing of our public since the early 60s. Would you agree that this thing is getting totally out of hand?
No, it is already totally out of hand. It's not getting, it is out of hand.
What do we do to restore some kind of a balance? I don't care what color anyone's skin is. I look at their personality. I look at the way that they treat other people. I look at what they do to help the community. Why in the world are we hearing so many race leaders trying to create another Selma, Alabama?
This is their agenda. This is their effort to further divide our country. Race against race, religion against religion. It's their agenda to destroy America as we know it. Totally destroy the America that you and I grew up in.
Why are we putting up with this? I mean, I grew up, I was born in the late 40s and a child of going to college in the 60s, and I've got a lot of friends that are of all races and ethnicities, and it seems like today it's worse than ever as far as trying to say something to someone without being called a racist.
That is their design. They're doing that on purpose. That's their playbook. They can get away with it and alienate, especially black people who are not informed. Call it racism, and you alienate the blacks from Mr. Trump. That is their playbook. They are doing it on purpose to divide America and shut down black people with a voice. Like you said, what can we do? I'm going to do something about it. I would not sit back and that all that we worked for, all America worked for, from the civil rights movement to make this a better country, and see them come in and to destroy this country.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. But what can I do? What can other people do? And who really are the bad guys in creating more of a race war, if you will, in this country?
What you're dealing with, it's a group of people. I don't know who they are. I don't know what their organization is, but they have determined that they are going to destroy America. They are going to make abortion. They're going to make same-sex marriage. Everything that loyal Americans worked for 50 years ago, they're tearing it up. They're pitting black against white. They're pitting the country against the country. And it's sad, and we must stand up you can do something. Every person is going to take individuals to say, I'll stand up and take a stand.
Reverend Owens, back in 2007, I absolutely came out on my program and I was against Barack Obama because of his ideology and his politics. At the same time, I was advocating for Condoleezza Rice to possibly throw her hat in the ring, so to speak, to be president. But the Democratic Party came after me and called me a racist and tried to get me taken off of this program.
That's their job. They're doing more than that. If you looked at my history, you know I came out against Barack Obama in a powerful way. If you Google me, you'll see it. It's right there, Bill Owens, Coalition of American Pastors. We did not agree with Obama then, and we don't agree with what he did now. Obama did more damage to this country than anybody in the last 50 years.
On one of the cheat sheets that I have for you, sir, it says the black family used to be strong. And boy, do I agree with that. What happened and how do we bring it back?
Let me tell you where it started. I've researched this because when I would get with members of the groups where we marched together in the civil rights movement, we would ask what happened. We were marching knowing that we were for a loyal cause, that we were going to change America. We just wanted our children to be able to go to any college they wanted to be able to get jobs. When I finished high school, there was only one college I could go to in the state of Tennessee. That was Tennessee State University. We wanted to reverse that. So what has happened? President Johnson instituted the Great Society. And he was one of my heroes until the December of 2015. When a friend informed me, I told him, I said, you know, President Johnson had great intentions, but he had unexpected consequences. He said, Bill, you got it wrong. President Johnson did what he meant to do. He meant to destroy the black family. It was not by accident. And I did the research, and this is what President Johnson said. Give a nigger a little bit and you'll have a Democrat for 200 years. It started with Johnson, with the Great Society, putting people on welfare. They hired 100,000 social workers to go throughout America to get black pregnant women on welfare, but put the father out of the home. They would send inspectors out. If the man's shoes or his clothes were there, they took off of welfare. So that destroyed the black family, and we are destroyed today. When I grew up, we had a mother and a father, and we lived in projects. Most families had a mother and a father. It was a family that was intact with a mother and a father. Now, how many fathers are in our children's home? Our black children? How many fathers? Because he started it. Destroy the black family, and you will have them for 200 years.
Reverend Owens,
and he was successful.
How do we as a nation, how do we restore a very simple 5-letter word back into that society again? And that word is pride. How do you re-implement that?
First of all, people have to have pride. There is no pride in getting a welfare check. Not check, a welfare. There's no pride in being able to live without working. So we must re-educate our citizens, and that is what our organization is doing. We're going throughout this country, telling the facts, giving the facts of where we are today and how we got there, and asking people to abandon the Democrat Party, which has destroyed.
You know, when you look at Chicago, and you of anybody could really relate the horrors that are going on within the confines of that city, Chicago led by a Democratic Mayor, Rahm Emanuel, and then New York with Bill de Blasio, it seems like they don't really care about solving the problems of the inner city. Am I wrong?
Yes, they don't care. It's not that they're saying they don't care. It's evident that they don't care. They care nothing about the black family. They care nothing about the black community. They want their votes.
You know, when it comes...
So what they're doing now is bringing in all of these foreigners under the Democrats so they can get their votes too. They're replacing black with foreigners. They just want the vote. They could care less.
When you talk about bringing in foreigners, I'd like you to elaborate a little bit on the refugees coming into this country, the illegal aliens coming into this country, a very porous open border situation that the Democrats are advocating. What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are they're using that so they can get credit for getting them in, and then they have their votes. They don't care anything about the foreigners either. They care about themselves and their platform and their money. They could care less about people. They just want what it takes to get them over and to get money. So that's their way of getting more votes.
How are we going to get people off of welfare and re-implement a pride or a self-responsibility like in Chicago with horrendous crime rate and murders? How are we going to get people to be aware that they can be self-reliant and live in a civilized community?
The only way we can do it is through education. And do I have 2 minutes to tell you a story?
Yes, go ahead, please.
You want to know? I did it. I formed a ministry in 1989 called Give Me a Chance Ministry. And that ministry took in people or students that probably would not have been accepted in a mainline university. We started with 3 students. We taught them, we scholarshiped them, we brought them to a predominant white campus. We started with 3 students. In 4 years, we had 400 students. We must educate our people. The name of that ministry was Give Me a Chance Ministry. Do the research on it. Give Me a Chance Ministry. My wife is taking that ministry over now and renewing it. We changed it to Give Me a Chance to Coalition of African American Pastors, but we took up other issues. But the heart of our ministry is education for our young people.
Let me ask you, Reverend Owens, and you of all people could give me a good answer on this. When you looked at the situation that was stirred up and created turmoil by Colin Kaepernick in the NFL, and then it was rampant with a lot of players taking a knee or sitting during the national anthem, that again was kind of a racial overtone. What were your thoughts about what happened to the NFL and, for that matter, black leadership for advocating what Kaepernick had done?
Kaepernick is nothing but a stoolie. He's doing what the system is telling him to do. He doesn't have the ability to lead anything. To not honor this country and the flag and the people who died to make America great is a disgrace, but that is a part of their playbook, and they're telling that boy what to do, and he's stupid enough to do it.
I really do
appreciate like him.
Yeah. This
that is their playbook.
This problem, you keep referring to the playbook. Is it all because of insurrection that's wanted in this country to turn it into a socialist nation and destroy the family values and destroy any kind of moral values? Is that what you're saying?
That is it. You have it. That is it. I could have gone down that lane, but due to the time limit, that is it. If you read history, that is it. That's exactly what they're doing.
Well, I would...
America into a socialistic country. That's their goal.
Well, I guess if I'm going to be correct in assumption, you and I are on the same page here, but can we turn this thing around? And I guess basically, how can we? Donald Trump got elected, but the Democrats are doing everything they can to be the crybaby wannabes. What do we do next to try to get this thing back on track?
What we must do is simple. You must join with me, and I must join with you to get the message out. Whatever we need to do, get the message out to the people. And that's what we're doing this year. We're getting the message out nationwide. We're having a news conference in Washington, D.C. next Tuesday. What's the date, Deborah? The 13th at the Press Club in Washington, D.C. to expose the black people who are standing up and when President Trump spoke, they would not smile. They looked like a toad on a tree. It's disgraceful. And we're having a news conference to denounce them next Tuesday in Washington, D.C. at the Press Club.
Well, unfortunately, though, Reverend Owens, you and what you're trying to do that is right doesn't get the coverage in the media. That's the unfortunate thing. You're on the right track, and the media doesn't give you any airplay.
No, they won't. They will give me no airplay because they don't want my message heard. But if you would do this, let me tell my website and have your audience to go to it and get on our list, CAAPUSA.org. That stands for Coalition of African American Pastors, USA.org. Anybody can join. As a matter of fact, we have 300-some thousand people on our list. A large portion are white. So it's for everybody. We just named it that because it was black-led. Go to our website, CAAPUSA.org, and sign up with us.
I absolutely appreciate your taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on my program, Reverend Bill Owens, and I hope and pray that you'll come back again and be my guest. I thank you for that.
Anytime. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Wow, I've read the background on this gentleman, Reverend Bill Owens, and I've got a lot of respect for this man and the right approach. Everybody should be self-responsible. Everybody should try to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. And that website, again, is CAAPUSA.org. Reverend Bill Owens, and he was born, like I said, in Memphis, Tennessee, joined the civil rights movement, and participated in nonviolent protests, and he is the president and founder of the Coalition of African American Pastors, CAAPUSA.org, which promotes Christian values and religious liberty. I just really appreciate this man coming on my program. Okay, I've got time for a couple of calls. Give me a jingle on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Like to hear from you. Kind of a slow call day, so give me a jingle. I'd love to hear what you have to say. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, don't forget, on Thursdays, we have a segment called Cassia County School Days, and our two sponsors we really give a lot of thank you and shout-out to, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they're celebrating their great big 15th birthday. Holy moly, come on in and spend $25, and you choose a free book or a stuffed animal, and receive a free poster for your child or grandchild's room. Oh, my, they're waiting to see and serve you at A Child's World. They've got everything over there for the family, the puzzles, games, toys, books, everything at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, along with Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. And for your outpatient surgeries, they can save you money. Absolutely. You give them a call today. Find out more. 677-8888. That number again, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley, along with The Child's World, bringing you on Thursdays school days in Cassia County. Really, really good folks. I want to also mention to you that I got a couple of public service announcements here. I've got to get in real quick, and I'll take your phone calls, so give me a jingle. Where did it go? There it is. Rupert United Methodist Church at 605 8th Street is going to have the Ash Wednesday service next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., February 14th. Don't forget that. It's in preparation for Easter, the Ash Wednesday service next Wednesday the 14th at 6:30 p.m. at the Rupert United Methodist Church. Then also a big Valentine's dinner is going to take place at the Minidoka County Senior Center. This is going to be February the 10th from 6 p.m. starting time, 8 $15 tickets each. And you get your choice of steak or salmon. And there's only 75 advance tickets to be sold. You need to call the number and make sure that you've got your tickets. 436-9107. 436-9107. No tickets will be sold at the door. You walk up and try to buy a ticket, they can't serve you. They got to know ahead of time. And that's on February 10th at the Minidoka County Senior Center. Tickets are $18 each. Okay. Let's get caught up a little bit on what else we've got cooking here today. We are going to, after the break, we're going to send it back over to our main studios where Wheels is, and we're going to have a new segment, thank you very much, Anderson Truck Company, and they're going to have a special segment and hosted by Sharon Hardy Mills. She's going to be over at the studio with those good folks, and that's going to be coming up right after the break at the bottom of the hour. Then, after that, I'm going to be talking to Joel Packham, Cache County agent, and we're going to be talking about, I believe, the 4th annual Soil Health Workshop that's going to be held on this coming Thursday, the 8th. And so we've got a lot of things to talk about this next half hour. Woo! One other thing, let's see, I wanted to remind you of, and that will be a free educational seminar for farm and ranch succession planning. If you want to say in what happens to your farm or ranch, you need a plan, well, you'd better join Brian Scott, Dan King, and Todd Lovelace, financial advisors with Waddell and Reed in Twin Falls. They're going to have a special meeting tomorrow night, Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. RSVP by calling Sarah at 732-7695. That number again, 732-7695. That's going to be at Waddell and Reed office, 1146 Eastland Drive North in Twin Falls at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night. You need to learn how you can implement a succession plan specific to you and the ongoing needs of your operation. Really a good seminar tomorrow night, and it's free at Waddell and Reed office, 1146 Eastland Drive North in Twin. Again, that number to RSVP, 732-7695. Wow. I'm out of air, and we've still got a long way to go, and we're going to, at this time, send it back over to our main studio. I'm going to turn it over to Wheels, and then we're going to come back right after the break with that interesting program with Sharon, and then also our guest, Joel Packham. Wheels, it's all yours.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Thank you very much and welcome back. And right now, I get a chance to kind of sit back and enjoy a wonderful lady that has subbed in for me many, many times when I'm gone. And we say a good morning to Sharon Hardy Mills, and she's going to introduce the next couple of minutes right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Sharon, good morning to you.
Good morning, Zeb, on this wonderful day today.
Yes, and thank you very much. I think they need to make sure your mics are up a little bit. It sounds really, really hollow, please.
Sounds hollow. Or is that more better?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There you
now
go.
We're not quite so hollow.
There.
Now we're in a tunnel.
Okay.
We have choices, I guess. Yeah, our segment that we're going to be doing today is through Anderson Trucking Farms, or Anderson Farms Trucking.
Right.
And I have Mr. Lonnie Hardy with me today. And Lonnie, what's your position there at Anderson Trucking?
I am the safety and training manager and also operations for the trucking company.
All right. And we are going to be doing a segment called Road Safety with our trucks. And a lot of people will think about those types of things in the fall when we have a lot of harvest trucks moving. But if you really sit back and watch, and if you sat on one of the corners in Burley or even out here on the highway, it would amaze you the number of trucks that we see moving. And so that's one of the things that we kind of wanted to talk about. Having been a truck driver myself in my past life, and I know that you did also, and now that you're working for a trucking farm, what are some of the issues that you're seeing with trucks?
Well, there's a great deal of things that are going on out there. The primary reason we wanted to come on is talk about Anderson Farms, and this is our safety month. And February's focus is, of course, trying to maintain a positive relationship with our community. A conversation has come up on a number of occasions. It's been the following too closely and rock chips and the issues that we have with windshields and so on. The frank fact of the matter there is that, dadgummit, you're following behind any implement, any piece of equipment, an automobile, a truck, or whatever, and you're going to risk the chance of a rock chip. And what we're asking everybody is to kind of open up that distance a little bit between the back of a truck or, for that matter, any vehicle system on the road after we've had sand on the road or they've had any kind of construction, anything like that.
Well, and I've noticed it doesn't necessarily mean when there's been construction. You can get a rock chip any time.
Absolutely correct.
And it can even come from clear across the other side of the medium.
So true, and it doesn't matter what size your vehicle is. A motorcycle can flip up a piece of rock or stone or anything else as easily as a semi can.
And a lot of people have the misnomer that it is the liability of the vehicle that flipped it up. How can you prove that that really came from that vehicle?
That is so true. And again, the road hazard is a road hazard. It is a hazard of the road. And you're right, Sharon. It doesn't matter what vehicle it is. A rock chip is a rock chip. A rock is a rock.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily rock chips that we see. I was coming back from Blackfoot the other day, and there was a piece of, I don't know what, on the road as I was passing a truck, and a truck was in front of me, and something flipped up and hit the side of my car. I have no idea what it was. I don't know if it was a piece of tire. I don't know if it was a rock. I don't know.
Right.
There's not a thing I can do about it.
Right.
There is a road hazard.
Yeah, the only thing you can do is to follow carefully and not too closely. Just remember the rules.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people forget that. They get in a hurry, and you think that if you're right on the end of them, that you're going to save a half a minute's time.
So
you're
true.
not. In fact, you risk losing your life.
Right. And being seen is so important, especially when you're talking about following a semi of any type or any piece of large equipment. Remember those mirrors. If you can't see his mirrors, and I realize it's such a cliche, if you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you. I just can't impress upon everybody in our community to remember that rule. If it's a truth. If even if a car, if I'm riding my motorcycle and I'm behind Sharon's car, if I can't see her mirrors, it's true she has a rear view in the middle of the car, but the bottom line is her outside mirror, she can't see me.
And you know, and I take that one step further. If I can't see that driver in his mirrors, I'm in a blind spot. He can't see me.
So true.
And that puts you in a very dangerous position, because if they can't see you and they don't know that there's anybody there and they need to do a lane change because you can't see what's in front of them, whether it be a road hazard or a vehicle off to the side of the road, and they start moving, you have nowhere to go.
Exactly correct. Exactly correct.
And you mentioned motorcycles. I remember back in the day, I used to have a bike also.
Yes, I remember.
And I remember that there were times as we were cruising down the highway that when I would pass a truck, the wind changes or the turbulence changes.
Right.
And people are not aware of that. And sometimes motorcyclists forget that.
Right. And, of course, it's magnified if you have any kind of wind on the day on top of that. So if you're running into a 20-mile-an-hour headwind and you're following a truck that's doing 67 miles an hour, the turbulence is just magnified significantly. So there's a lot of buffeting around that goes on with that.
Yeah. Now, the skirts that they're starting to put on these trucks, is that really helping with that turbulence?
We understand that it is. I haven't done the research on it, and thanks for that reminder. That's something I've been tasked to do. I just haven't been able to get to it yet. But certainly we've got to look into that and find out the impact. We know the impact actually is on fuel reduction and fuel savings is the main and primary reason for that equipment.
You know, even small cars can hit that turbulence.
That is true.
And it can really mess you up, and especially if the roads are slick.
True.
I know we're almost out of time here, but one more really quick thing is cruise control. And I know trucks have cruise control and cars have cruise control. And if the roads are the least bit wet, and the first worst time is when it first starts to rain, when that first moisture starts mixing with the oil and the dirt and slime and stuff that's on the road, that is the most dangerous time to be in cruise.
It is actually correct. And same for truck drivers. In fact, we encourage our drivers not to use the cruise control, even if you have some type of inclement weather, the roads are drying, whatever. We encourage our guys to not use it until the roads are totally dry.
All right. I can't believe our 7 minutes has already gone.
I know, it goes quick, doesn't it?
So, we know that Anderson Trucking is a great trucking company here in the community. They support activities here in the community. What are you guys looking for as far as drivers?
We are looking for professional and courteous drivers, these guys that have experience. If you're a brand new driver, come and see us anyway. We have a new program that we've just started where we might be able to get some of you new CDL owners taken care of and trained. Courtesy, professionalism, those are the things we're looking for.
So where do they go to find you guys?
271 Highway 30 in Burley, or give me a call, 208-312-8699. Lon Hardy.
All right, Lon. Hey, this has been great information. And next week, we're going to be talking about stopping distances.
Correct.
And passing. That's one of my pet peeves. People who pass, we'll talk about that next week.
Yes, ma'am, we will.
All righty. Thank you very much. Zeb, we're going to turn the time back over to you.
Well, thank you, and I enjoyed both of you to give me a little respite and sit back and enjoy my own program. Thank you. That was enjoyable.
It's a pleasure, Zeb.
God bless you both, and we'll look forward to next Monday, same time, and absolutely same station. Thank you very much. In just a few moments, we're going to have Joel Packham on regarding the Cassia County agent and a great big annual soil health workshop that's coming up. But right now, I think what we're going to do is have the weather forecast brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to their website. Oh, my goodness, yes, the delicious meats at scarrowsmeats.com. Changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time, all the bacons and the delicious breakfast sausages, the bratwurst, my favorite, along with all the prime ribs, smoked hams, everything at Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like we're going to be warming up this week. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Mostly sunny skies for today. However, it is going to be breezy. Winds out of the west right around 20 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 32 miles an hour. High at 50 is what we're looking at for today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to continue with the low right near 32 for tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies. Still it's going to be windy. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour out of the west. High of 45 Tuesday night. Partly cloudy with a low of 31 for Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies and 51 Thursday. Possible high of 56. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Great job. Always, she does a very comprehensive weather forecast, and we appreciate it. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Hello, Don Scarrow. How are you? All the delicious meats. I mentioned the prime rib a little bit ago, the marinated prime rib. Oh, fantastic. And all their smoked hams. And like I said, the bratwurst. Oh, it just goes on and on. Delicious. Scarrows Meats in Jerome. They are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. Right now, let's go to the phone line and a gentleman that we have had on an occasion, and we look forward to talking to him this morning, Cassia County agent. Good morning, Joel Packham. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys this morning?
Well, I tell you what, not too bad. Good Super Bowl yesterday, and here we are back in the saddle for work on a Monday morning. Tell us all about the 4th Annual Soil Health Workshop. What's going on? Where's it going to be? When's it going to be? Everything.
Well, this workshop that we're going to have with the soil, in conjunction with the Soil and Water Conservation Districts, both in Cassia and in Minidoka, it is really scheduled to be one of the very best soil health workshops that I've ever had anything to do with. It is just amazing what we've been able to do with this. We've got a speaker coming in by the name of Gabe Brown, and he's, I would guess, that one of the top people in the country talking about cover crops and soil health and all of those things that go with it. And he is speaking. We've got him for the whole day, and he's just going to do a great job. We're really, really excited to have him with us. So really encourage him. And we've got a huge group coming. I think we've got over 270 people enrolled.
Oh my!
To come to this. So it's quite the party, and we really look forward to it. It's going to be it's kind of a big deal. We're having to change a few things that we didn't think it was going to be quite that big. So we've got big screens coming, and hopefully that we can get everybody so they can see what's going on and be able to hear. So it's kind of it's really definitely a very big deal. So we're excited to do it.
Well, Joel, let me ask you this. Is it too late for some people to rearrange their schedule and be there on this Thursday? Is there a number to call, or what would you suggest?
They probably need to get a hold of, well, in fact, they do need to get a hold of Doreen McMurray. She is the one who's in charge.
Okay. And do you have her number right there?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what I do. I'll help you out a little bit. I got it right here. I'll give it. It's 878-5556, and they can RSVP at that number, 878-5556. Now, you're going to be involved, and you're going to be talking, and you're going to be speaking, I believe, on pesticide instruction. Give us a little background on that.
Well, we try to offer some pesticide credits for anybody who needs credits for their pesticide applicator licenses. And so I'm just going to be the speaker, or one of the speakers that's going to talk on that particular thing. We do have 3 credit hours scheduled for this workshop, for the full day workshop. So they get 3 credits. That's a pretty big a bunch of credits. And so the stuff that Gabe Brown is going to talk about, and the stuff that Marlon Winger, he's the regional agronomist for the state of Idaho and the Natural Resources Conservation Service. So he's going to talk also, and then myself and Steve Hines, who's the county agent over in Jerome County. All of us are going to give talks on pesticide applicator stuff. At least it'll include that within other talks. Those of us from the counties, we're giving specific talks on for those license credits, and I'm talking about nematode problems and how to do trap cropping with for nematodes, so we can get rid of those harmful insects. And so it's been kind of a fun research deal for me to get ready for this, and I know Steve's going to give a talk, again, using cover crops.
Okay, but
we're pretty excited.
Let me ask you this. It's going to be this Thursday. Give us the time that it starts and how long it's going to last, and, of course, the most important thing, where's it going to be?
It is at the Burley Inn. That's the most important thing. And the agenda, we actually start at 7 a.m. with the breakfast, but
wow.
That's by invitation only. But the registration for the meeting is at 8:30 at the Burley Inn, and again, we'll be using the main, we'll have almost all that main floor to accommodate 270 some odd people. And so the registration is at 8:30. The meeting starts at 9 o'clock, and we'll be there through 3:30.
Wow.
And so, and then there'll be a meet and greet right after that, that people can come and talk with Gabe Brown and all the presenters, and so then there is there's actually a special dinner that night that's again by special invitation for people that can go have dinner with Mr. Brown.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Joel, and I don't want to get into an area here that we can take a lot of time, but I do have some extra minutes here. As far as pesticides are concerned, have we, through the environmental movement in this country, have we seen pesticides so weakened and watered down that they're not doing the job they were geared for?
No, I actually think we've gotten pesticides today that are extremely pinpointed. Some of them, at least, are extremely pinpointed, and they get a certain pest that they are looking for, and not necessarily a lot of other pests. So we can actually do a lot with chemicals today that aren't necessarily as harmful as they were years ago, because many years ago they just kind of killed everything. Now we're actually pinpointing some of the chemicals to be very direct and very specific for specific pests, and those are amazing. They're not cheap, but they are really incredible and do a very fine job. So I don't think we're seeing, some of them are certainly watered down. We've lost a lot of the good chemicals, quote unquote good, that we've found problems with those as far as some health problems, and so we've gotten away from several chemicals, but we've got others that have taken their places that are very effective, but just much more pinpointed.
Okay, now, Joel, let me ask you this question, and I've said this for a long time on my radio program for the last 15 years, that today's farmer, I don't know how they can possibly keep up on everything regarding what they're growing, regarding what needs to help grow those crops. I mean, today's farmer really has to be up on all the education.
Yeah, today's farmers are incredible businessmen, for one thing. They are all running multi-million-dollar businesses. For people who think that farmers are just a farmer. They need to change their whole mindset. These farmers run extremely large businesses with many, some of them have many employees. And so when you get into that, they are looking at very specific things that help their operations be successful. And they are drilling down further and further to get more and more efficient and more effective. And they are incredible businessmen, and in every facet, whether it's money and it's financial, or whether it's crop and agronomy, or whatever you're talking about, these farmers and ranchers are getting very, very specific, and they have to have very, very specific help. And they find it. They find that help, and they know where to get it. They have access to the internet, and they truly do spend their time looking at all the latest things that help them be more effective. And I find that exciting to be a part of the agricultural industry today. It's just amazing.
Well, Joel, let me give you a little shout out too, because I would think that a county agent, regardless of who it is or where it is, you really must have to keep abreast of everything that's going on in agriculture. You need to have somewhat of a working relationship to relate that with the farmers as to the different things that are available. I mean, you have to keep re-educating yourself almost every day, don't you?
Well, we're always trying to do research, and not only that, but trying to just keep up, just like you said. We try to read everything that comes across our desk. We may not always have a working knowledge of all of these things, but almost always we try to be familiar with almost everything so that we can discuss most anything. But listen, if we don't know the answer to something, we're going to find somebody we can send you to that has those answers. That's the thing that I think is most important. There's no way, I don't think, that anybody can have all this knowledge, but they can certainly point you in the right direction, and that's certainly what we try to do.
Well, is it tougher, and I underline that word, being a county extension agent today as it may have been 10 or 20 years ago?
I don't know that it's tougher. I guess it certainly can be. If you want to be on top of many things, you really have to work at it. But we also have very specialized county extension people that are very specialized. So they will just kind of work in their area. And so for them, whether it's tougher, it certainly isn't any easier, I don't think. But I think it's just those people that were 20 years ago, that they were pretty darn sharp guys. I sure take my hat off to them and don't take anything away from them. So
basically, Joel, a day in the life of Joel Packham, you specialize in pesticide instruction? Is that basically your bailiwick?
Actually, I specialize in farm financial management and estate planning, so that's where I spend most of my teaching time, and then I do a lot of work now in cover crops and research. Last year we had, I think, 3 research projects in the cover crop area. So the soil health thing has become a really important part of what we're doing. There's just a lot we don't know yet, and so the research end is pretty heavy, and we have a lot of producers that work with us on these research projects throughout the Magic Valley area that are helping us. So we have a lot more knowledge today than we did, but a person like Gabe Brown that's going to be at this meeting, guys, he's been doing it for 20 years. I don't think there's anybody in the country smarter than he is about soil health and cover crops.
Well, what about, one last question here in regards to, hey, you've got these different seminars that you're going to put on and everything, but what about you and other extension agents? Do you have kind of a nucleus where you go to your schools to find out more about these topics? Where do you get all your information?
Well, it's funny. I just got asked that the other day. But we try to keep up with all of the things on the internet that we possibly can, and then we try to read any kind of research that comes out. And then we do have our annual conferences coming up in April, and we will have meetings at that annual conference that they will try to present to us things that have happened since our last annual conference. But you know as well as I do, there are things going on right now that we need to know about, and we'll have to just try to keep up as best we can. So we spend a lot of time on a computer trying to look up information.
Absolutely. Once again, Joel, if you would, quickly give us a synopsis about this 4th annual Soil Health Workshop. Where, when, and how they can be a part of it.
The Soil Health Health Workshop is going to, again, it's held at the Burley Inn and Convention Center on Thursday. It will start, the registration is at 8:30, and you'll want to get there early because it's going to be a crowd. The meeting starts at 9 o'clock. The first speaker, well, we have people from the Soil and Water Conservation Districts that are going to present some things, and then the Gabe Brown, who we've brought in to speak for this, he starts speaking at 9:15, and that goes, and then the meeting ends at 3:30, where you can receive 3 pesticide credits if you're going to stay all day, and again, and so that's, and they can, if they want to get a hold of someone for that work, they need to get a hold of Doreen McMurray, and it's 878-5556.
Joel, I really enjoyed having you on the program this morning, and I hope that everything goes well for this workshop. And don't be a stranger. Come back and visit with us again.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, sir. Thank you much. Yes. Joel Packham, Cassia County agent, thank you very much. Oh, I got to tell you a little bit about our major sponsor. I am so proud of these people to have them as our major sponsor for many, many, many years on this show. All 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Wow. Free brake check, free pre-trip safety check, and you just got to stop in there because doing the right thing matters, and they, at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, do the right thing. Absolutely. They've got a great big Founders Celebration going on right now, and some of these tires are priced at prices you can't afford to pass up, like the Road Control Touring AS 7498 all-season design with a quiet, smooth ride, or the Backcountry All-Terrain for your pickups and SUVs. All of this and more at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Brake service, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the wonderful Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see them today. Wow, I got to get out of here. And I've enjoyed the program. Thank you to all the nice people. And we'll be back here tomorrow morning at 8:06, right here on KBAR 1230, and then streaming live on the internet, zebbell.com. Wheels, excellent job over there at the board, my friend. We'll be back at 8:06 tomorrow morning. God bless. And remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be.